Okay, so this video is going to be pretty quick. This is just going to be focusing on night CQB, and this is technically still a video implementing the basics of CQB, just focusing more towards nighttime and white light. And that's really all I'm going to focus on in this video particular, because I don't want to just give too much like random information. Not random information, but information that doesn't really tie into night CQB and white light CQB, like low light CQB. So I don't want to just go off topic, I guess you could say. So let's just get straight into it and just talk about night CQB and stuff that you want to know, information that you want to know about conducting CQB force on force during the night time, night environment. And something that a lot of people actually don't know is obviously when you conduct CQB room clearing during the night time when it's dark, you're obviously going to be using NVDs, whether it's PVS 31s, just Gen 2 and above, let's just say, or binos. You're not really using PVS 13s when you're conducting. I mean, you can use PVS 13s, which is just the single nod, which is the single night vision device, and PVS 31s are two eyes, and then binos are pretty much four-eyed night vision devices. So like I said, there's different types of night vision, and when it comes to night vision, your brain is processing what you see differently than during the daytime. That's the one thing, considering you have NVDs on. But you could get used to it, and if you move quick and efficiently and you practice a lot with NVDs, you'll obviously be able to move more smooth, and it's not that much different than doing or conducting CQB during the day. It's not that much different. Literally all it is just NVDs, and I'm gonna tell you the other differences right now. And the video that we're watching is U.S. Marines Helix FS conduct night raids, and there's just a night raid being conducted. This is like the best video I could find, or like just a video of a night raid, which is similar to CQB, depending on what they're doing in this operation. But I'm not really sure, but we're about to watch and find out. But on top of that, I'll be talking about a lot of nice CQB. Alright, so the first thing, hold up. So right here, they're obviously going to the objective. But the first thing that I will say is when it comes to conducting CQB during the night, you are going to be using your IR, which is the IR laser, which is undetectable by the human eye. And the only when you turn on the IR, pretty much you are only going to be able to see it through your NVDs. So you can only see the IR laser through your night vision device. And on top of that, like I said, it's not detected by the human eye, and you are aiming through your IR. You are never aiming through your sight. Your sight picture is never your SCO, RCO, any of that. It's never that. Whatever sight you have on your weapon system, that's not what you're looking through when you're. I almost dropped my phone. That's not what you're looking through when you are doing night CQB. You're just looking through your IR laser, and like I said, it's not detectable by the human eye. You're just looking through it, and the only people that can see it in the room or the building that you are clearing is your allies, or if the enemy has NVDs on and night vision devices, then they could possibly see your IR lasers. So that is the only other way it will be detectable by enemy force. And the reason why you use an IR is, like I said, it's undetectable by enemy eye if they don't have NVDs on. And I mean, the laser is very easy to aim with if you have experience with it, and you get experience with it, because like I said, these videos, watching and learning is definitely important, but you actually conducting the exercise and training is what's going to make you efficient with it. But like I said, that's why you use an IR, and it's going to make it where the enemy can't see the laser, and you're able to get a good shot and take down whatever enemy that you're taking down. Right there, they have PVS 31s, it looks like, on, like I was just talking about in the beginning of this video. And so for this video, they didn't really go inside a building or conduct CQB, but this is just, it is a night raid though. And on top of that, one thing that I will say is everything that I said in my first videos of the basics and fundamentals of CQB, they still apply to night CQB. Nothing changes when it comes to that. The only thing that I change is you're using an IR to aim, so you're not aiming through the sight picture of the rifle. On top of that, you're using NVDs, whether it's PVS 31s, binos, PVS 13. You're using pretty much night vision devices to see. You can't obviously see with a naked eye. And on top of that, if you don't know that your night vision, you need to use an IR because that is what's allowing pretty much your night vision devices to work, because there needs to still be some type of light. If you're in a building and it's pitch black and there's no moonlight, let's just say, shining, then you will not be able to see through your NVDs. So that IR is giving your NVDs life pretty much, allowing you to see in the dark, and that's why you're also aiming with your IR laser. So that's something that a lot of people don't know if you're not like in the military or you haven't have experience with with an IR or with NVDs. So make sure you understand that. And when it comes to white light, which is a low light environment, but you're not using night vision, things that I say is you could speak to your second man, whether you're the point man or the second man, like we talked to. You could speak to them when it comes to communicating, because you want during nighttime, you're obviously, even during the day, there is possibilities that you're using nonverbal communication to get around the building and clear your sectors of fire, etc. And with the light, you could actually connect and meet with each other. You can speak to your second man with the light, and you could collapse sectors with the light, and you're meeting. And obviously, that light is going to stop, and it can signal they stop if you're on an enemy target, getting ready to put a round in him. So you could always speak with that light when it comes to white light, and you could also connect your sectors of fire into one if you're doing that. And on the internet, like I said, like for YouTube at least, like there isn't really shit out here when it comes to showing a demonstration. So I'm trying to explain it to you the best I can. So I'm not really sure what I want to type in to give you more of an example, but actually, you know what? Let's just fuck around, and this will be this from a movie clip. Night raid, a small team of soldiers raid. This will actually probably give you a good, or even just a compound raid. Actually, compound raid. This is actually this clip right here will actually show you a good understanding of what you're looking at.
Unknowns gathering on the southwest rooftops.
So this is showing you view through the NVDs, of course. Now they're breaching the doorway.
Execute. Go! This is Echo 05 moving to level 2.
When you see people outside the building, they're obviously posting 360 security from all perimeters to make sure that they can't get ambushed and an ambush can't occur, of course. Trying to get to shit that this is obviously the view through their NVDs, like I said. And one thing, when going up steps, there's another method to doing this where you always hit the back of your heel on the back of your ally's heel when he's looking at your rear when you're looking in front of you. So that's how you know to keep moving up the steps, and that's a technique that I learned, and you could apply when it's going up steps. Right here, that's the IR laser. The naked eye, the civilian eye, without the NVDs, they cannot see it. So you're able to see it considering you got NVDs, and he's going to be aiming through his laser. He's not aiming through his sight. It's called a PEC right here, and this is what you turn on to turn on the IR laser. And you obviously zero your IR laser, so it is accurate. So when you fucking have that shit on their head, you're hitting the head.
Khalid! Echo 02 moving to deck 3.
Easy day. And that's pretty much. And like I said, you see how they're just standing here and not getting out the way because they cannot see the IR. So it's pretty simple. Honestly, I don't need to go through the full video. right here, they're actually technically using white light, even though it's on their Kev, which is a Kevlar, obviously, and they're using white light, that's pretty much what it is. And when it comes to white light and all that, there's also something that I could say where you could do something called ride the beam, where if you're going against experienced enemies and you don't know your threat is experienced, they could do something called ride the beam, where if you're using white light, the enemy could obviously see it. It's seen by the naked eye. So if you're using white light and you aim it at the ground or you turn it away from where the enemy is, because let's say he's hiding in the shadows and you do not see him, then when he sees you turn that light away, he could peek out of the shadows and smoke you. That's why um, some what's it called? If you're non-experienced enemy contact that you face could probably, when you have force-to-force contact, could not be doing shit like that, but it definitely is a possibility that you should always consider in the back of your head. So you want to make sure you know what you're clearing, and you could even try that against the enemy, even bring to light that that's a possibility. So it's called riding the beam, where they realize that you're using white light to see, and you don't have NVDs essentially, so they are seeing that your light is pushed away from them, so they could peek out of the shadows to get an easy kill. So that's just something that you got to pay attention to. And in the next video that I make, I'll be going more in depth on like I think movements and footworks I'll be doing. I just want to make this video as like a follow-up to the first video I made. And something that I actually will say in this video that I didn't say is slicing the pie is very important. When I said slicing the pie, I was talking about it in my first video, whether because all of CQB, night CQB, day CQB, low light CQB, all that stuff, all of the same fundamentals and the same movements apply. It's just the visibility is different and some equipment that you are using is different. But one thing that I will say is you want to make sure that you always have two eyes open. You don't keep one eye open when you're doing CQB, like as if you were just standing still shooting. You always want two eyes open when you're shooting so you can see around you, because you don't want to just limit your point of view. You don't want to just limit your visibility. You want to be able to see as much as possible. So you always want to keep two eyes open. And on top, even when you're aiming in with your sight, and on top of that, with the sight picture, another thing that I will say is the slicing the pie, which is basically when you are, whether it's a center fed room or corner fed room, regardless of whatever the format of the room is, you're going to want to back up and be able to wide peek the room, just back up as much as possible while being able to see as much as the room possible, so you cannot hit the threshold. I think I briefly talked about in the first video, but I want to just talk about in this one. And everything that I said applies to day CQB, night CQB. All of it still applies. Nothing's different. And like I said, the only difference that I would say between day and night CQB is you're using an IR and your brain processes differently because you have NVDs on, but you will get used to it quickly. And the more you practice, the better you're going to get. So, yep, you're clearing with your IR. You aim in, not your sight. Another thing that I'll say is with low light, like I said, we could recap on it real quick. You could use the light as a communication, because when you're doing night CQB, it's mainly going to be as well nonverbal communication, depending on if the enemy threat knows that you're there or not. Regardless, that's really it. And then on top of that, what else can I give you for information when it comes to night CQB? Oh yeah, something that I also will say is there's a principle of CQB that we go by, and I actually didn't really mention this in the first video, which is left, right, left, right. So the point man, when he hits the left, the second man hits the right, then the third man hits the left. You never want to go left, left, like right, right. You always want to do left, right, left, right. And on top of that, you always want to find work. You always want to find. Everyone always wants to be useful. I covered in the first video, and that's just a very important thing. And that's really it when it comes to nice CQB, the basics of it. Also, the same way of weapon manipulation applies. You want to stock your rifle over your shoulder and snap it back into your shoulder pocket. That's literally the way that you go through doorways, because clearly a rifle can't just go through a doorway normally, and you don't want to be in the low port, because guess what? If you're in a low ready, let's just say, it's going to take more time, no matter how fast you are, to kill the target if you get into a quick engagement, instead of you just being already technically just snapping your rifle back into your shoulder pocket is the fastest and most efficient way to get rounds on the target, and it's been proven whether it's better than a high ready, better than a low ready, pretty much the most efficient way, whether it's night CQB, day CQB, low light CQB, regardless of the environment and what you got to use to conduct your operation, that is still going to be the best shit that you use. Those are pretty much the basics of night CQB and low light CQB. I'm not going too in depth. That's really all it is. My next video is going to be probably another CQB video or on every hand and arm signal, and just more movement, more advanced movement when it comes to CQB. My last video was pretty fucking long, so this one I just want to give you some more information, but I didn't even make it that long as my first video. But I hope you guys gain some useful knowledge on night CQB and the equipment that is going to be used during night CQB. And also remember that you gotta think that when you're conducting this, you're also you also have 3 mags on you, a plate carrier. You have a lot of shit on you. So foot movement is very important when you have a flak on and when you have a rifle in your hands, considering you trying it without it. So just make sure you keep that in mind. That's why you gotta stress and practice this shit with a rifle and with a flak, because when it comes to engagements, you're gonna have some weight on your body. So being able to move efficiently and fast and not take unnecessary steps and do dumb shit could definitely be life and death. That's all for this video. I'm out. Catch you in the next one.